Everyone. I'm Krishna Karwa, a senior research analyst with IFAS Financial India Private Limited. The topic for today is Axis AAA plus SDL 50 is to 50 ETF. This is a new product launch from the stable of Axis AMC. To discuss more on this, we have Ashwin Patni, who heads the Products and Alternatives Division at Axis AMC, to share his opening remarks and thoughts on this product. Over to you, Ashwin.
Yeah, hello and good evening, everyone. And it's really a great, fantastic opportunity that I'm here to talk about. It's a very interesting new development that has happened in the debt mutual fund space over the last few years. Of course, we are all familiar with the concept of FMPs, which fixed maturity plans, which have been a staple of debt mutual fund investing for the last so many years. But over the last few years, we've seen this new innovation, which is investing in a target maturity product through the ETF route, which has really made it a very, very interesting way to access, a very stable and yet liquid way of investing into a defined maturity product on the debt ETF side. Let's look at some of the salient features of this fund. The most important thing is that the structure of this product is essentially that of a target maturity ETF. What that means is that the portfolio will mature on a certain pre-agreed date. In this particular case, that is somewhere in 30th April 2026, which is about 5 years from now. So essentially, a 5-year tenure product is what this is. Essentially, the portfolio, everything will be constructed such that it is in line with this maturity date. Moving ahead, the construct of the product is that of an ETF. As we all know, ETFs are basically exchange-traded funds. So these funds, while in the NFO, everyone can participate with the demat account, but on an ongoing basis post NFO, they trade on the exchange, and then you can buy and sell these on the exchange. For certain large investors investing in a certain large ticket size, they can directly approach the AMC as well. In terms of the portfolio itself, on the next slide, essentially, as any passive strategy works, essentially it has to replicate a certain portfolio, which is designed by the benchmark. And the benchmark in this case is essentially a 50-50 combination of AAA as well as SDLs. SDLs are essentially nothing but state development loans. So essentially, these are securities, just like we know that government securities are securities issued by the central government. SDLs are correspondingly securities which are issued by state governments, and AAA bonds are essentially corporate bonds which are issued by AAA corporates. Now, these corporates can be both public sector as well as private sector in nature. So essentially, this benchmark gives you a 50-50 exposure, 50% exposure to a AAA bond basket and a 50% exposure to an SDL bond basket. And the entire portfolio is designed to mature in about 5 years' time. This is just a list of the issuers. Like I said, unlike a normal actively managed product where the basket, etc., is something that is dynamic and changes over a period of time, one of the big advantages of a passive strategy is that the broad contours are known in advance and are very clear to the investor. So therefore, in this case also, the benchmark which has been designed by NSE is something that is already in place. And these are the constituents of this benchmark. Like I said, it's a 50-50. So you can see the 50% AAA component on the left, which has 6 issuers, and the 50% component, which is the SDL on the right, which has another 6 issuers. And the way that the benchmark works is that they all 6, or rather all 12, have equal weights in the benchmark. And that's what broadly we will be replicating in our portfolio as well. Moving ahead to why this product, essentially, as we have established, this is like a 5-year defined maturity product, which is basically focusing on a higher quality space. So essentially, we believe that this can work as a core allocation for all investors, because this can allow you to really get a good combination of good quality as well as stability, as well as liquidity, all in the same product. Within that, why target maturity ETFs are also so exciting is that for many investors, they give a combination benefit of investing in a single bond, but also getting the benefit of a debt mutual fund structure, which we are all used to. So while one obvious difference between any active strategy is that in this case, it is a passive product and therefore it's not actively managed. But in many other respects, it combines some of the best features of a mutual fund and an individual bond, which is that it trades on on a stock exchange. And where it's really scores over individual bonds is both the tax efficiency as well as liquidity. Individual bonds are not very liquid, whereas in this case, we have market makers or authorized participants which are going to be there, which will provide regular liquidity on the exchange. And it will become very easy for investors to actually either buy or sell their units on the stock exchange once these units get listed after the NFO. What is so special about the 5-year segment? As I highlighted already, that this product is a 5-year maturity in April 2026. So a 5-year tenure product. Why have we selected the 5-year? Because we believe that on the curve, it is one of the most interesting spaces right now. As what we have done in this chart is highlighted how much the sell-off that has happened. We all know that debt markets have been a bit volatile over the last 3 to 4 months, and essentially there has been a bit of a sell-off. And what can be seen in this chart is that the sell-off has been the most acute in the 5-year space. So in that sense, we believe that the yield scenario in the 5-year space is today, because of the sell-off, become quite interesting. On the next slide, again, we have shown this in a slightly different way, where we have shown the spread between the 3 years and 5-year AAA bonds on the left, and the spread between 5-year and 10-year bonds on the right. And again, it brings out the opportunity, because if what you can see is that while the 3/5 spread is at close to a 10-year high, which means the 5-year bonds are trading significantly above what 3 years bond are trading, and this difference is at its 10-year high. Whereas on the other side, what 10 years bonds spread over 5 years is at a very, very low. So the yield curve is providing a very good opportunity in the 5-year because of the spread which is there, but beyond 5 years, it is then plateaus off. So we believe that this 5-year segment therefore provides a very interesting space right now for investors to look at. One concern, of course, as I mentioned already, about the volatility and the sell-off which we have seen in the debt markets in the last 3-4 months, and that has obviously given rise to a lot of concerns from investors about any potential risks and uncertainties, especially in the near terms, in the next 6-12 months. As we all know, RBI has some exceptional liquidity and rate measures because of the COVID environment. And as things normalize, some of these may get reversed. The good news here is that because of the unique feature of this structure, the volatility does not impact investors in the same way as it may impact them in open-ended, actively managed strategies. First of all, as this has been highlighted, this is a 5-year structure. So one option is for investors who hold this to maturity. They don't really get any volatility. Almost works exactly like another FMP or something, where they invest today, get whatever the yields are today, and then they hold on till and they realize those yields. Even for investors who don't hold on, because you get the benefit of liquidity here, so you can exit in the interim as well. Even for those investors who do not hold on but sell off, exit at the let's say after 3 years, the volatility gets dramatically dampened, because your holding period return is a function of the yield that you accrue over these 3 years and any mark-to-market changes that have happened. And over a 3-year window, the holding period return is far outweighs the impact from the uncertainty from the any mark-to-market. And also at the end of 3 years, the residual maturity of the portfolio would have dramatically fallen to only 1.5 to 2 years. So any impact of M2M to that extent further gets shrunk by that side. So therefore, even for those investors who are worried about market volatility, these kind of products which are target yield or roll down provide a fantastic way to play it without worrying about uncertainty. And of course, there is the power of tax efficiency which comes in because of the debt mutual fund structure that ETFs follows. Similar to a debt mutual fund, which is it allows you, if you hold for more than 3 years, it allows you indexation benefits. And for those who hold on till maturity, you will effectively get 5 years of indexations in your calculation. Therefore, to summarize, this is a very interesting opportunity for all investors who are looking at debt allocations in the market right now. It's a unique structure, which is something that has opened up in the market only in the recent past. It's not something that has been available for investors before. To summarize, it is a 5-year maturity benchmark, and the fund that we have is an ETF, exchange traded fund, that will replicate that benchmark and essentially will buy bonds which are going to be aligned in terms of maturity. It will not be actively managed but replicate the benchmark, and it will work very similar to how fixed maturity plan works, which is that you will keep buying bonds only with the same maturity or closer to that same end maturity, and the maturity profile of the fund will keep dropping as time goes by, and investors can choose to buy with a hold to maturity target, as well as, unlike a normal FMP, in this case they also have the ability to invest and take advantage of the liquidity provisions to exit in the interim if their target is not to hold for 5 years. So essentially it is a great opportunity right now also from in terms of the risk return in the yield curve, which is the 5-year space, and also gives you a very diversified basket of both AAA bonds as well as SDLs in the same portfolio in a 50-50 manner, and some really good quality, high quality investment options within let's say the broad fixed income universe. So it's a very interesting idea. It works with a lot of investors. And maybe one last thing that I can just say in terms of, for those of you who are not familiar with ETFs, we can just jump ahead to the ETF trading slide. Just move ahead. One more. Yeah, one more. And this just talks about, this slide just talks about, how ETFs get traded. And while, of course, they're getting popularity, a lot of investors are still new to exchange traded funds. So it's, the thing to note about exchange traded funds and how they're different from normal mutual funds is that for a normal debt mutual fund, you would invest or redeem at NAV with the fund house. But in this case, of course, you can apply in the NFO. All investors can apply. First of all, the most important thing is you need a demat account. The units get credited on the demat in the demat account. And post NFO, these units get listed and traded on the exchange. And there is a liquidity that is being provided by authorized participants. So investors, if they need to make further investments or if they need to exit these funds, they will have to go on the exchange and either buy or sell on the exchange. So that is the one important difference between an ETF and how a normal mutual fund works. There is a live price which is available on the exchange. There are indicative NAVs which are available on our website that investors can refer to while trading these units on the exchange. So that's just a quick summary on the product. Happy to answer any questions that you have.
Sure, Ashwin. Thank you so much for that presentation. We'll quickly touch upon some questions which address the common concerns that the investor fraternity has in terms of the debt space. So at the outset, you mentioned that it's a 50-50 composition between AAA and SDLs, and there will be two nifty indices in this regard, in which proportion this particular fund will also invest. Can you explain to us as to how this rebalancing will be effected?
Yeah, so idea is that there are two important things. One is that the balance between AAA and SDL should remain at 50-50. And within that, since we have equal number of issuers, 6 on both sides, effectively the allocation to each of the issuers within each bucket, so the 50% AAA bucket and 50% SDL bucket should also be equal. So what will happen is that on a quarterly basis, this will get reviewed by NSE. NSE is the one who's running the benchmark index. And if the weightages get changed because of any relative mark-to-market price movements, etc., they will be brought back in line to such that on a quarterly basis, the allocations are always equal. The weightages are always equal.
Okay. So there's also this second concern where a lot of debt mutual fund investors are now flocking towards the shorter end of the duration curve because taking into account the interest rate risks. So in that sense, how different is this product from a risk reward perspective? Mm,
Yeah. So I think that's a very good question in the current market context because we have seen a lot of volatility and NAV ups and downs in the debt space over the last, I think, 3-4 months. Obviously, that is something that always worries investors in a category which is, people are looking at debt more for stability purposes, and when these are uncertain times, then definitely it affects investors confidence towards the category. And in that sense, actually, this is a really, really good product for investors who are worried about volatility, because first and foremost, this is a target maturity product, which is that this fund will mature on or before 30th April of 2026, which is about 5 years from now. So first of all, when investors invest, they can invest with a clear hold to maturity, what is called a hold to maturity profile. So if they invest now and invest for 5 years, they don't have to worry about market volatility, because whatever yield that they lock in today in the fund when they invest, essentially that will get played out over the next 5 years. And any intervening uncertainty or so to that extent, they get the advantage investing and taking advantage of the 5 year space without worrying about any intervening uncertainty or liquidity that they may face in a more let's say like an open-ended strategy or a normal open actively managed strategy. So that's where this fund can really help investors who are worried about potential market volatility.
Sure. And now, in light of the second COVID-19 wave and the consequent economic disruptions that it is causing, there are concerns about central and state governments borrowing more, which could drive yields up. And that can, in fact, impact NAVs negatively. So, how would this bit of the risk be managed? Because that's again something people are keeping a close eye on, in addition to the interest rate volatility.
Yeah. So I think that first of all, there are 2-3 parts of this question. One is that how the COVID things plays out, and the second part of it is then therefore what does it do from a borrowing program and the demand supply of the bonds. First of all, we think that this current environment, while it is very, very challenging from a current situation perspective, but we think that at some stage over the next couple of months, we expect things to stabilize because of a combination of improvement, further push on the vaccination side, as well as the natural sort of cooling off which happens when the wave burns out. So looking at the data, etc. So we think that on the whole, if you look at structurally, we are on the rebound. The economy has bounced back very sharply, even when the previous time after the lockdown, when the economy was opened up. So while temporarily 1 or 2 months, 3 months, we may see some disruption in maybe in this quarter, but I think whenever things settle down and we are able to open back, we will see a good bounce back continue. Second thing is that even now, while lockdowns selectively are happening, unlike last year, economic activity is being allowed and not completely clamped down, unlike a hard lockdown of what we saw last year. So that is also a saving grace. So we are not going to see that kind of a collapse in economic activity which we saw last year. And third thing is, of course, I think on the demand supply, while of course temporarily there will be a high deficit and high borrowing requirement, I think in the short term that can be something managed by RBI in the interim. In the medium term, what is really needed is a good rebound on the economic activity, because that will take care of the requirement for the government to step in and also take care of the deficit to a certain extent. Yes, there is some uncertainty in the outlook, but in the short term, I think that is something that can be well managed by the central bank in terms of how they have been guiding stability in the market. Some amount of ups and downs and volatility will continue to happen, but broadly speaking, this is something that will that should not become out of hand, is my point. And over the longer term, of course, the recovery will take care of these concerns. Of course, in the interim, whilst these short-term volatility happens, for investors, they can always look at these kind of products to take care of, hand-holding them through this environment, which are, FMP-like structures, but they come with this element of liquidity on top.
Yes. And you mentioned that this product is ideal for those who want to hold on till maturity for another 5 odd years. And just in case someone wishes to exit in the interim, you mentioned that a market maker facility is available, right? So the liquidity bit is not a cause of concern.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have appointed 2 authorized participants, what are technically called authorized participants, whose job is to actually be active on the exchanges and provide both quotes on both sides, both on buy side or sell side, such that whatever the from an investor's perspective, what is it that they are trying to achieve, whether they are trying to add more investments, take on more units, or whether they are trying to exit and sell off the existing units that they have. Both the sides should happen very smoothly. As I would like to highlight, ETFs is now a very vibrant, space in India. Lots of ETFs are there already. We are seeing pretty good amount of liquidity that happens, and investors are able to operate on that. And within the debt space, we are pretty confident that the liquidity will not at all be a challenge. Investors will be able to very smoothly manage whatever they are trying to achieve on the exchange.
Sure. And we also wanted to know the TER for this fund and how different would it be vis-a-vis actively managed debt funds of a similar 5-year duration. So your thoughts on that, please.
So again, being a passive fund, one of the key features of passive funds is that the expense ratios tend to be much lower than actively managed funds. So that is the case here as well. So the expense ratio for this fund will be 0.15%, about 15 basis points. And as you can imagine, this is obviously far lower than what active managed expense ratios are. So typically short to medium space, which is a 5-year maturity, will typically, comparable ones could be the short funds or short to medium term funds. The expense ratio could be as high as 100 to 150 basis points or even more than that. So compared to that, here it is 15 basis points is far, far lower. So that's one of the big advantages of a passive product.
So all in all, it does look like a differentiated product, the first of its kind in the passive debt space. And as the market grows, of course, we will see more such launches. The presentation was pretty comprehensive, and you also shed light on the different concerns that investors have. In conclusion, would you like to summarize the takeaways as well in the context of this NFO?
Yes, thank you. And, I think it's a great opportunity for investors who are looking for high quality product, which is, reflected in the fact that this invests in AAA and SDLs. Point number two, in funds which are, the investors are looking for stability, which this fund achieves because it's a 5-year, target maturity product, not an open-ended product. A high amount of predictability because this is a passive product, because investors can see the portfolio because of the benchmark, and the fund managers will replicate that benchmark. And finally, high quality liquidity also, because unlike a close-ended product or something, here these are exchange traded units which are there, and we will have efforts to make sure that there's active liquidity. So if you see the combination of good quality portfolio, stability in terms of the strategy, and liquidity on the exchange, it's a great story for the investors.
Sure. And in fact, that's a good way to sum things up. So that comprehensively touches upon all the features of the product. And that is it from our side. We would like to extend a vote of thanks to Ashwin and Axis AMC for taking out time and joining us here. And we wish you all the very best for a successful launch.